I ran into my old boss, the same old boss who fired me, but you know what? This time, karma's coming back full circle because do I have a story for you? Story number 1 on the day, titled, Ran into my old boss who fired me and karma really came running. 3 years ago, I was let go from a high-end custom furniture workshop where I worked as a master woodworker and designer. I know it might sound niche, but it's actually a pretty specialized field where we created all these little pieces for luxury homes and galleries. The whole situation started when Richard, who's the owner by the way, made me the workshop safety coordinator because I'd previously worked at a renowned studio in Portland, and it was incredibly strict about safety protocols and what you need to do to keep safety up to standards. Being the dedicated person I am, I dove deep into all the OSHA regulations and just constantly raised concerns about our handling of toxic wood finishes, industrial equipment, you name it, all the proper ventilation for dust collection. The amount of sawdust in that place was honestly terrifying. We're talking serious respiratory hazards here. Guys, for 2 straight years, I kept pushing for basic safety improvements, proper ventilation systems, better PPE, proper storage for chemical finishes, you name it. But Richard, would always brush it off with, quote, "We've been doing it this way for 15 years. It's too expensive right now." The real kicker, it came during COVID. Somebody, not me though, wink wink, Richard was convinced it was me though, reported our workplace to OSHA over inadequate COVID protocols and ventilation issues. Suddenly, I noticed things getting weird. They hired another master woodworker to, quote, help with the increased order load, yeah right, and stripped me of safety coordinator position. And then 3 months later, surprise, surprise, I was let go due to lack of work. Yeah right. The same week they hired someone new. Make it make sense. At the time, I'd been slowly building my own custom furniture design business. It was a side hustle, but being fired in Denver, it's insane cost of living, it's terrifying here. But you know what? Getting fired was all the push I needed to go all in on my own work. So let's fast forward to last night, see. I'm at this prestigious crafts fair where I had a booth, and who walks by? None other than Richard himself. You want to know the best part? Through mutual connections at the fair, I learned his workshop is barely hanging on. He's had to cut everyone to part-time just 2 days a week because they lost most of their high-end clients. Apparently, their quality has tanked since they lost several experienced craftspeople. Gee, I wonder why. He awkwardly stopped by my booth and said, heard you been doing some, interesting work. Oh, buddy, you have no idea. I just smiled and said, yes, things are going really well. Well, that's because they are. I got a wait list through 2026 and my pieces are being featured in 3, count 'em, 3 major design magazines next month. And I'm in such a good place financially that I just opened my own workshop with proper safety standards and 2 apprentices. I didn't tell him any of that though. I just gave him my best smile and watched him look uncomfortable as potential clients crowded my booth. Anyways, that's it. Guys, I want to know what you hear about that story, but first let's go ahead and check out these 2 commenters because they were arguing back and forth. One of them just can't decide what OP should have done. Let me know what you think of this comment. Comment number 1 from Woodworking Pro says, OP is completely justified. When you ignore safety protocols in a workshop, you're literally gambling with people's lives. Wood dust, it causes cancer. Chemical fumes can be lethal, and don't even get me started on machinery accidents. The boss got exactly what he deserved for putting profits over people's health. Whoa, just hold up there, comment 1. This is where Business Mindset 2024 comes in and says, wow, are we seriously celebrating someone's business struggling? OP sounds bitter. OP sounds entitled. Running a custom furniture shop is not cheap. Proper ventilation systems can cost upwards of $50,000. Maybe, just maybe, if OP spent less time playing safety police and more time understanding business economics, they'd get why small businesses can't just dump money into every single OSHA recommendation. The boss would probably a right to fire them. I mean, come on. Here's where comment number 1 comes back and replies again and says, actually, tell me you never worked in a wood shop without telling me you never worked in a wood shop. Safety police? Really? People literally get hurt from this type of stuff. My uncle lost 3 fingers because his boss would not spring for proper saw guards. But sure, let's prioritize the, poor business owner's wallet over work safety. Peak capitalism right there, buddy. Guys, I want to know which of those comments that you agree with the most. Drop it down below, but we're not done just yet. Let's check out story number 2. Manipulative mom tries to hijack the wedding so we get married without telling her a thing. Story number 2. I need to get this off my chest. Even years later, so a quick background before I jump into it. I have a younger brother, Jake, who I cut contact with after he tried to hurt my now husband at a family barbecue just last summer. Not just as casual little a shove back and forth between men. No, we're talking like a full-blown brawl because my husband called him out for driving under the influence. Guys, to make it even better, Jake's wife Linda threatened to, quote, put me in my place while patting her purse. She has a concealed carry permit, real classy. So naturally, when planning our wedding in Austin, I made it crystal clear to everyone Jake and Linda were not invited. Period. End of discussion. Well, you would think that would be the end of it, right? Enter my mother, Patricia. Patricia, despite being fully aware of the situation, decides to play peacemaker, aka boundary stomper. She calls me one evening all cheerful like, great news, talk to Jake, Linda, and they promised to behave at the wedding. They miss you so much. I shut that down immediately and said, Mom, they are not invited. You have no right to tell them they should come. You want to know her response? But, he's your brother. What will people think if he's not there? We need to keep up appearances. But wait, it gets better. Patricia, who has not been sober at a family event since my high school graduation, starts to push it. Have an open bar. Guys, first of all, neither me nor my husband drink, so why would I have an open bar? Book the, quote, prestigious venue across town? Come on, that's triple our budget. And here's the one that just set me off. Invite every second cousin twice removed from Minnesota. I've never even met half these people. At a champagne fountain. But here we go. Here's the really crazy one. I overheard her on the phone with her sister bragging about how, quote, her daughter's wedding would have a top-shelf liquor and how everyone from the church would be there. Everyone she wanted to invite, that is. So last March, on a random Monday night in the middle of the rain, I looked at my fiancé while we were stress-eating takeout and planning a seating chart. What are you doing tomorrow evening? Oh, besides watching you stress about these table arrangements, nothing. Well, do you want to just go and get married? Completely serious? Oh, gosh, I love you, yes. 24 hours later, we were married in our favorite park with just our best friends. One got ordained online that morning, and the total cost? $250. It was just for the marriage license and pizza. No drama, no drunk relatives, no peacekeeping between estranged siblings, just us, exactly how we wanted it. You want to know Patricia's reaction to this? I mean, absolutely the definition of nuclear. Boom! She just spent the next month posting dramatic Facebook statuses, quote, heartbroken I wasn't there for my only daughter's wedding. A mother's worst nightmare is being excluded from her child's special day. Please pray for my family during these difficult times. Conveniently leaving out how we got to this point, but wait. Just wait, because here goes the best part. We took all the money that we saved and put it towards a down payment on our dream home. Every time I walk through our front door, I'm reminded that standing up to toxic family pressure was the best wedding gift we could have ever given ourselves. And you know what? I feel great. Guys, that is the story. Here's the 2 commenters that were discussing it. The first comment comes from Family First 85. It says, "Are you kidding me? You excluded your own mother from your wedding? I don't care what the circumstances were. That's just cruel. She raised you, changed your diapers, and this is how you repay her. By robbing her of one of the most important moments in a mom's life. The fact that you're even bragging about this is disgusting. Some things you can just never take back, and this is one of them, OP." Comment number 2 from Boundary Queen says, "Wow, found the toxic mother in the group, the commenter who just posted. Did you even read the post? The mom literally tried to invite someone who threatened harm on the bride. Hello? And she was planning to turn their wedding into her personal open bar. But sure, let's guilt trip OP because family. People like you are why toxic parents get away with all this crap." Guys, do you agree more with the first commenter or the second? Let me know down below in our comment section which one you're rocking with. And if you're enjoying today's video, go ahead. Hit that subscribe button because story number 3 and the final story of the day is right here. How I got sweet, sweet revenge on a coworker that tried to humiliate me. Story 3. I've been in pharmaceutical sales for about a decade now. The story is from like 2014, but it still makes me smile, so a quick context before we hop into it. Our annual sales conference is always in Atlantic City. You know, where expense accounts go to die. As sales reps, we had a pretty generous expense limit for client entertainment. 5-star restaurants, sure. VIP club tables, no problem. But the one absolute rule, no gentleman's club, ever, on the company dollar, period. So enter Stephen Thompson, obviously a fake name for today's story. The epitome of every sales stereotype you can imagine. Mid-40s, drove a leased BMW, wore watches he can't afford, and has this special talent for messing over clients and our implementation team simultaneously. He was also notorious for expense accounts creativity, like claiming dinner with imaginary VPs or having all these adult entertainment visits disguised as premium bottle service on the receipt. But here's the thing. Steve had this ultra-religious wife back home in Connecticut. Yeah, this is not going to be pretty. We're talking homeschool the kids because public schools are too, much. Well, she made him keep his Atlantic City suitcase in their detached garage and would literally bleach it in the washing machine after cleaning his sin from the clothing. Yeah, his words, not mine. She would make him recite Bible verses before his business trip. That's not a joke. So during our 2014 conference, Steve, organizing this big group outing to Caesar's famous gentleman establishment, he's trying to fill a private shuttle to meet the minimum for free entry. Spots are, chatting with Dr. Williams, a major potential client, once again fake name, at the hotel bar and saunters over. So this is how the conversation went with Steve leading the way. Hey, rookie, got room for 2 more? These ladies are top tier, if you know what I mean. No thanks, Steve. We're good here. What's wrong? Afraid your little soldier can't handle it? This kid probably hasn't seen a real woman since his prom. Just trying to maintain some professional boundaries, I say to Steve. But inside, I was seething. Nothing like being humiliated in front of a potential $1 million account. Guys, later that night, I'm walking the boardwalk just to clear my head before an early flight. If you've been to Atlantic City, you know about those guys handing out service cards for late-night adventures. Basically, soft playing cards with phone numbers on it. Usually I just ignore them, but tonight I start collecting them. phone number by phone number from each girl. Next morning at the airport, Steve looks like death warmed over. Red eyes, reeking of the booze, popping Advil like it's a Tic Tac. And at some point he stumbles to the bathroom and asks me to watch his carry-on, and you see where this is going. I slipped about 20 of those cards into different pockets of his bag. Some in his toiletry kit, some in his left shoe, some just loose in the main compartment like a very adult Easter egg hunt. That's right. And 2 weeks later, Steve, looking miserable at the office, turns out that his wife found the cards while doing his decontamination laundry. She did not believe his blackout drunk story. "Oh, baby, I don't know how those got there." You know, the aftermath was 3 church services a week instead of 1. Weekly marriage counseling with their pastor. No more golf league because, quote, he needs to focus on his spiritual journey, and he even had to sell his BMW because it was too flashy, and invited temptation into his life. Every time he tells the story looking for sympathy, swearing he never took those cards, I just nod sympathetically and suggest maybe it's all part of God's plan. But let me know, would you have done the same thing? Guys, that was the 3rd story, but wait, let's check out the comments for this one to see whose side are you on. Comment number 1 from Sales Ethic Pro 13. This is absolutely disgusting behavior. You potentially ruined a marriage and a man's relationship with his children because he made some crude joke. Everyone in sales knows it's just part of the culture. The guy was just trying to include you in team building. The fact that you premeditatedly planned this and are bragging about it years later on the internet shows what a small vindictive person you are. I hope that karma comes full circle, baby. Here's comment 2 that does not agree with that commenter, but let me know. Who do you agree with? Here it is, the final comment. Ah, this must be Steve's burner account coming from the first commenter. Part of the culture? What? That's exactly why women don't want to work in sales. Defending harassment and expense fraud as team building? What's next, buddy? He's gonna say his wife should have been cool with it? Yeah, you're a dinosaur. Guys, I want to know which one was your favorite story today, and what would you do in each situation? Drop it down below. Thank you for joining me on today's video, and this channel is all about revenge, so make sure you smash that like button. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you tomorrow, and of course remember, it's cool to be kind. Peace.